No one in the arena expected a human to be chosen. Not today. Not ever. Thousands of alien species had gathered on the great war moon of Valthar, where the tournament of the strongest was held once every 100 years. It was a place of legends, where warriors from across the stars proved their worth. Only the bravest were selected. Only the strongest survived. This year, the crowd buzzed with excitement. A new champion would rise. And then, something unexpected happened. The announcer's voice echoed through the giant metal stadium. Chosen contestant, Lara of Earth. A sudden silence fell. What? Someone whispered. Did he say human? Many aliens laughed. Others looked confused. And far above them all, on his golden throne, the alien king narrowed his eyes. He had ruled for 5 centuries, watched countless fights, and never seen a human stand in this place. Lara stepped forward from the long line of hopefuls. She was small, not armored like the others. No weapons, no fancy gear, just simple black clothing and quiet eyes. Even her posture was unsure, like she had no idea why she was really here. They must be joking, one lizard warrior hissed. Send her back to her dirt world, a metallic alien grunted. But Lara didn't walk back. She stood still. Back on Earth, she was a mechanic's daughter. She had grown up fixing broken machines, not fighting beasts. But something inside her had changed. When her planet received the invitation to send a representative, everyone said no one stood a chance. And no one volunteered. No one. Except her. When she arrived on Valthar, she was treated like a pet. Aliens stared at her like she was something weak and laughable. Some even placed bets that she would die before the first round. But Lara didn't come to die. She came to prove something as she stepped into the training halls. Others shoved her aside. Some ignored her completely. But she watched. She listened. She studied every opponent, every weapon, every trap the arena used. She didn't train harder than the rest. She trained smarter. And now, she was officially chosen. In the royal chamber, the alien king sat with a group of ancient advisors. One of them leaned in. "My king, this is a mistake. A human cannot survive the gauntlet." The king did not respond. His glowing eyes remained fixed on the screen where Lara was shown, preparing for her first challenge. "Perhaps," he finally said, "but sometimes the stars choose what logic cannot." The next day came quickly. The arena gates opened. Inside waited her first opponent, a towering beast from the ash moons of Grontul. 6 arms, teeth like daggers, and armor thicker than ship metal. The beast roared. Lara walked in slowly. Everyone expected her to run, to scream, maybe even faint. But she didn't. The announcer shouted, "Begin!" The beast charged forward like a storm. Its claws slammed into the arena floor, shattering stone. It swung its blade, roaring like thunder. Lara ducked, then rolled. She wasn't stronger, but she was faster, smarter. As the beast moved, she used the arena itself, bouncing off walls, diving through tight gaps, and leading it straight into a gravity trap. The floor beneath the beast collapsed, and it sank waist-deep into a pit of dense magnetic sludge. The crowd gasped. Lara picked up a nearby pole and leapt forward, using the beast's armor as a ladder. She climbed quickly, planted the pole at the base of its helmet, and hit a pressure point. The beast howled and collapsed. Silence again. Then a single clap from the throne above. The alien king was smiling. "She thinks like a ruler," he whispered to himself. Lara stood in the center of the arena, chest rising and falling, not from fear, but from focus. She had survived, and everyone in the galaxy had just learned her name. Lara didn't sleep that night. The victory against the Ash Moon beast had shaken the entire arena, but she knew that was just the beginning. The gauntlet had many stages, and each one was harder than the last. She wasn't celebrating. She was planning. Deep inside the preparation chambers where contestants were treated and trained, Lara sat alone. Most of the other fighters didn't even look at her. A few whispered behind her back. They believed her win was a fluke, a trick. They thought the next challenge would break her. They were wrong. The next morning, Lara stood at the arena's gate again. A glowing screen above flashed the words, Round 2, Adaptive Hazard Arena. She heard the announcer's voice echo across the domed stadium. Contestants will face multiple hazards. Only one will leave standing. May the worthy survive. 10. Fighters entered, one from each system. Lara was the only human. The gates opened with a loud hiss. Inside, the arena had changed. It now looked like a cracked desert with shifting platforms and strange glowing walls. Molten rivers appeared and disappeared at random. Lightning fell from the artificial sky. Lara moved carefully. Others charged forward, weapons drawn, eager to prove themselves. But the arena wasn't just full of traps, it was learning. The longer they fought, the more dangerous it became. Lara noticed it before the rest. Every movement changed the field. When someone ran fast, the ground under them became slippery. When one fighter used fire, water jets sprayed to cancel the attack. The arena adapted. But so did Lara. She stopped using power. She used timing. Instead of charging into fights, she used the traps themselves to take down the enemies. She tricked one insectoid warrior into stepping on a tile that launched him into the sky. Another she pushed toward a shifting wall that trapped him inside. Only 4 remained, and then came the real test. The center of the arena opened up, revealing a creature made of smoke and wires, an artificial intelligence programmed to destroy. It had no face, no heart, and no fear. It moved like a shadow, and each time it was hit, it rebuilt itself stronger. Lara watched the other 3 charge it. 2 were vaporized within seconds. The last, a serpent soldier, lasted longer, but was finally crushed. She was alone. The crowd fell silent again. The creature stared at her, its glowing core pulsing like a heartbeat. It had studied her too. It knew her speed, her tricks. But Lara wasn't afraid. She had a plan. She ran toward the lava river. The creature followed, sending out spikes of metal from its body. Lara jumped over them, sliding under the last one. Then she leapt onto a moving platform that floated above the molten flow. She knew the creature could regenerate, but only if its core stayed stable. As it approached, Lara triggered a trap she had memorized earlier. A blast of cryogas shot from the wall, freezing part of the platform. The heat and the cold collided violently, and when the creature stepped on it, the platform shattered. Both Lara and the creature fell toward the lava. But Lara had prepared. She grabbed a cable hanging above and swung to the side. The creature fell straight into the molten pool, its core overheating before it could rebuild. Fire exploded upward. Then, quiet. The lights changed to green. She had passed the second round. The alien king stood again in his throne box. Beside him, his war generals looked confused. She defeated a learning machine, one of them said. She's more than a warrior, another whispered. The king said nothing, but his eyes followed her every movement. Lara walked out of the arena without a word. She didn't smile. She didn't raise her hands. She only looked up once, at the throne above, and then disappeared behind the doors. Back in the shadows of the arena, many aliens now whispered her name. Lara, the human, the one who sees what others miss. They had come to mock her. Now they feared her. But Lara didn't care about fame. She had come for something else. She had come to prove humanity was not a mistake in this galaxy. And she was not done yet. The sky above the arena was dark, even though it was midday. Thick storm clouds circled above, glowing with energy. Lightning cracked across the dome as the final battle prepared to begin. The arena floor was now a steel plane, clean and silent. No traps, no tricks, just one stage for one final fight. Lara stood at the edge, staring at her final opponent. His name was Varun. He was not a beast, not a machine. He was the champion of 10 star systems, undefeated for over a century. Tall, armored in black and gold, and carrying a blade forged from the heart of a collapsed sun. His eyes glowed with cold pride. He stepped forward slowly. "You're the human," Varun said, his voice like thunder. "You've been lucky." Lara said nothing. "You don't belong here," he growled. "But I will end this with honor." Above them, the alien king leaned forward. He said nothing, but his hands gripped the arms of his throne tightly. His face showed no emotion, but inside something was rising. Hope. The arena lights dimmed. The crowd went silent. The announcer's voice boomed. "Final round begins." Varun struck first. His blade sliced through the air with a sound like screaming wind. Lara dodged barely, feeling the heat from the weapon burn the edge of her sleeve. She rolled and leapt back to gain space. The champion didn't wait. He rushed her again, his attacks fast and brutal. Every swing could shatter stone and every step shook the ground. Lara was quicker, but Varun's experience showed. He pushed her back step by step. The crowd watched, breathless. Then, Lara fell. Varun raised his sword high. "You fought well," he said, his voice calm. But as the blade came down, Lara moved. She wasn't hurt. She had faked the fall. She caught his wrist mid-swing and twisted her body under his arm. The blade missed. Lara jumped back, then grabbed a shard of fallen metal from the floor. A broken weapon. A human weapon. She smiled for the first time. Varun roared and came at her again. But something had changed. He was angry now, not focused. And Lara had learned his pattern. She moved like water, slipping, ducking, countering. She used his strength against him. Minutes passed. Sweat covered her skin. Her chest burned with every breath. But she didn't stop. Finally she struck. Her metal shard stabbed into a joint in Varun's armor. He fell to one knee, shocked. His blade slipped from his hand and crashed to the floor. Lara stood over him. The arena was silent. Then came the sound no one expected. Clapping. Slow, heavy clapping. From the throne above. The alien king had risen. He walked down the long stairs, step by step, past his guards, past his advisors, and stood at the edge of the arena. The crowd parted. He looked at Lara, not with anger, not with confusion, with respect. He walked toward her, stopped just inches away, and knelt. "Lara of Earth," he said softly, "you have defeated our strongest warrior. You have shown not only power, but wisdom, courage, mercy." He removed the glowing crown from his head and held it out to her. "I offer you the throne, not as a ruler above others, but as a queen beside me. Lead this galaxy into something better." Lara froze. She had come to fight, not to rule. But the moment felt larger than her. She looked at Varun, who bowed his head. She looked at the crowd, aliens, of every shape, color, and kind, watching her with wide eyes. She took the crown, and the sky above them cracked open with a roar of thunder. The galaxy had changed. Forever. Lara held the crown in her hands. It felt heavier than she expected, not because of its weight, but because of what it meant. Thousands of eyes were on her. Warriors, rulers, traitors, and leaders from across the galaxy watched in silence. No one moved. No one spoke. She was a human girl with no kingdom, no title, no armor. But here she stood, in the center of the great arena of Valthar, with the galaxy's most powerful crown resting in her palms. The alien king stayed on one knee. Before her, his golden armor shining under the lights. He had given up his throne, not because he was weak, not because he was old, but because he saw something greater in her. Lara looked around. This moment didn't feel real. Just weeks ago, she had been fixing broken machines in a dusty shop on Earth. Now she was being asked to lead a galaxy that had mocked her, feared her, and tested her in every way. She didn't answer right away. Instead, she said, "I didn't come here to wear a crown." The king lifted his head. The crowd leaned in. "Then why did you come?" he asked gently. Lara's voice was calm. "To show that humans are not weak, not fools, not useless. We are not here to beg for a seat. We are here to stand beside others, as equals. Her words echoed across the arena like a pulse of light. Some aliens blinked, others whispered. The king smiled. Then take this crown as a symbol, he said. Not of rule, but of change. Lara looked at him, then at the crown again. She thought of her mother, who had always believed in peace. She thought of her younger brother, who had cried when she left. She thought of every person who had ever been told they weren't good enough. Lara placed the crown on her head. The lights above burst into golden rays. Music played, soft and ancient. The royal banner of Valthar changed, now showing not a warrior, but a pair of hands held together, human and alien. Lara turned to the crowd. I will not sit on a throne of fear, she said. I will walk among you, listen to you, build with you. There was silence. Then, one by one, aliens began to kneel. Some bowed their heads, others crossed their arms in salute. Even Varun, the great champion, stood tall and placed his fist on his chest. She had earned their respect, not by strength alone, but by heart. In the days that followed, everything changed. Lara worked with the alien king, not as a queen in name, but as a partner. They rebuilt old systems, opened trade routes to forgotten worlds, created schools where different species learned side by side. She made sure humans were invited to join the Galactic Council. She helped end a long war between two rival planets. She even returned to Earth once, bringing gifts and promises of peace. The galaxy called her many names. Queen of Unity, Daughter of Hope, the girl who wore no throne. But to her people on Earth, she was still just Lara, the girl who dared to believe she could make a difference. Years passed. The galaxy grew stronger, not through conquest, but through connection. And at the heart of it all was a young woman who had once been laughed at, now remembered in every star system as the human who turned down power and built something greater instead. The crown remained on her shelf, gathering dust, not forgotten, just no longer needed.